Today is October 21st, 2025. This is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, I've got a little song to play for you. Are you familiar with the song at all?
Bang on the run. Bang on the run.
Maybe some of you listening know that song, but we were talking about it beforehand, and I said, isn't there a song that's called Man on the Run?
Because that's what David's doing right now. He's man on the run.
Yeah.
But
And I looked it up, and it's Band on the Run by Paul McCartney and Wings Band.
sure
so-
sounds like man on the run.
It sure sounds like Man on the Run. So anyway, this is the Band on the Run, the Man on the Run. So we've seen David in chapter 24 sparing Saul's life in the cave. And now in chapter 26, we're going to see David sparing Saul's life in the camp.
It's interesting. Before each of those, these people named the Ziphites betray David's location to Saul.
Yep.
So they do the same thing twice, and then shortly after that, David spares Saul's life twice.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting.
Which is recorded in Psalm 54
Yes.
about just his attitude, about writing it, just even at that moment.
After the Ziphites betray him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
throughout that whole psalm, it's just, God is my helper, I'm going to trust in him, he's delivered me, God saved me, sort of just, his attitude is he's running from his enemies. So here we go, chapter 26, verse 1. Then the Ziphites came to Saul at Gibeah, saying, Is not David hiding himself on the hill of Hachilah, which is on the east of Jeshimon? So Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph with 3,000 chosen men of Israel to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul encamped on the hill of Hachilah, which is beside the road on the east of Jeshimon. But David remained in the wilderness. And when he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness, David sent out spies and learned that Saul had indeed come. Then David rose and came to the place where Saul had encamped, and David saw the place where Saul lay, with Abner, the son of Ner, the commander of the army, and Saul was lying within the encampment, while the army was encamped around him.
Then David said to Ahimelech the Hittite and to Joab's brother Abishai the son of Zeruiah, Who will go down with me into the camp to Saul? And Abishai said, I will go down with you. So David and Abishai went to the army by night, and there lay Saul, sleeping within the encampment, with his spear struck in the ground at his head, and Abner and the army lay around him. Then Abishai said to David, God has given your enemy into your hand this day. Now please let me pin him to the earth with one stroke of the spear, and I will not strike him twice.
It's just like what happened in the cave. Mm-hmm. Remember, but I read that kind of whispering-ish, because they're here in the night.
Okay,
they're not
yes.
trying to wake everybody up. They're saying, hey, God has given him into your hand. I'll spear him just right through. I mean, he's
Yes,
on the
they
ground.
are probably whispering.
The spear's right there. He could just shish kebab him super easy.
But David said to Abishai, Do not destroy him, for who can put his hand out against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? And David said, As the Lord lives, the Lord will strike him, or his day will come to die, or he will go down into battle and perish.
Yeah, and that's also exactly how he responded in the cave.
Yeah.
Chapter 24, he says, May the Lord judge between me and you. May the Lord avenge me, but my hand shall not be against you. Like, I'm not going to take vengeance against you, Saul. I'm just going to trust the Lord.
Okay, verse 11. The Lord forbid that I should put out my hand against the Lord's anointed. But take now the spear that is at his head and the jar of water, and let us go. So David
A
took
little
the
bit like that little patch which
Uh-huh.
he took in the cave.
Yep, just to show evidence that he got very close. So David took the spear and the jar of water from Saul's head, and they went away. No man saw it or knew it, nor did any lay awake. And someone might think, how did they not wake up?
Yeah.
And here's the answer. For they were all asleep, because a deep sleep from the Lord had fallen upon them.
So maybe he didn't have to whisper,
Maybe not.
because there's a deep sleep there.
Maybe not.
Okay, so here it goes. When David went over the other side and stood far off on the top of a hill with a great space between them, and David called to the army and to Abner, the son of Ner, saying, Will you not answer, Abner? And so these guys are far away. They're shouting at each other. And then Abner answered, Who are you who calls to the king? And David said to Abner, Are you not a man? Who's like you in all Israel? Why then have you not kept watch over your lord the king? For one of the people came in to destroy the king of your lord. This thing that you have done is not good. As the Lord lives, you deserve to die, because you have not kept watch over your Lord, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is. and the jar of water that was at his head.
I wonder how far away they were and how they were able to speak loudly enough to be heard.
Well, maybe that shows they weren't so far away.
Maybe, yeah. Because verse 17 says, Saul recognized David's voice and said, "Is this your voice, my son David?" And David said, "It is my voice, my lord the king, my lord, O king."
Yeah, it's also like he was up on a hill too.
Yeah, sure.
So-
And so the acoustics, maybe.
And the acoustics, but I'm also thinking the distance required, because they need to be far enough away so that if Saul would turn and run
Yeah,
after him, he can
yeah.
run away. But if you got a hill, it takes a lot slower to go up a
that's
hill
true.
as well. So that may have been an advantage as well.
Yep. And he said, "Why does my Lord pursue after his servant? For what have I done? What evil is on my hands? Now therefore, let my Lord the king hear the words of his servant. If it is the Lord who has stirred you up against me, may he accept an offering. But if it is men, may they be cursed before the Lord, for they have driven me out this day, that I should have no share in the heritage of the Lord, saying, Go serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth away from the presence of the Lord. For the king of Israel has come out to seek a single flea, like one who hunts a partridge in the mountains."
That's how David sees himself, huh? Mm-hmm. A single flea. And then Saul said, "I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I will no more do you harm. Because my life was precious in your eyes this day, behold, I have acted foolishly and have made a great mistake." And David answered, said, "Here's the spear, O king. Let one of the young men come over and take it. The Lord rewards every man for his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord gave you into my hand today, and I would not put out my hand against the Lord's anointed. Behold, as your life was precious this day in my sight, so my life may be precious in the sight of the Lord, and may he deliver me out of all tribulation." Then Saul said to David, "Blessed be you, my son David. You will do many things and will succeed in them." So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place.
Saul is just so, he's such a liar.
Yeah, so fickle.
You know, yeah. And where he says, "Is this your voice, my son, David?"
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Okay, so just I think in terms of a summary here, chapter 26 is talking about David sparing Saul's life in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
He
And
takes
it
the spear in his jar of water because the Ziphites revealed it to him.
right.
But also when he's in the cave, the Ziphites revealed that to him as well. In chapter 23,
Mm-hmm.
it says that. And Psalm 54 captures the emotions and heart and prayer of David in that process.
Yep.
Okay, and then we come to chapter 27.
Then David said in his heart, "Now I shall perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should escape to the land of the Philistines."
Okay, so
That's crazy.
yeah, David was convinced that Saul's heart would never change.
That's not crazy. I think he was
I
he was
think,
thinking
yeah.
clearly on that.
Yeah.
But his solution would be to go hide out with the Philistines. Those are his enemies.
He is arch
like
enemy.
Goliath's
David
people.
killed his 10,000s. Like
Yeah.
10,000 Philistines is sort
Yeah.
of what he...
And why they would even allow him to come in, I don't
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing.
It is amazing.
Anyway, then Saul will despair of seeking me any longer within the borders of Israel, and I shall escape out of his hand. So David arose and went over, he and 600 men who were with him, to Achish, the son of Maoch, the king of Gath. Goliath was from Gath as well. And David lived with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, and David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail of Carmel, Nabal's widow. And when it was told Saul that David had fled to Gath, he no longer sought him. So I guess it worked to keep Saul away.
Yeah. Well, Saul's not going to go into the hand of the Philistines, that's for sure.
Right.
And then David said to Achish, "If I have found favor in your eyes, let a place be given to me in one of the country towns, that I may dwell there. For why should your servant dwell in the royal city with you?" So that day Achish gave him Ziklag. Therefore Ziklag has belonged to the kings of Judah to this day. And the number of the days that David lived in the country of the Philistines was 1 year and 4 months.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a really long time. Now, David and his men went up and made raids against the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites, for these were inhabitants of the land from of old, as far as Shur to the land of Egypt. And David would strike the land and would leave neither man nor woman alive, but would take the sheep, the oxen, the donkeys, the camels, and the garments back and come back to Achish. When Achish said, "Where have you made a raid today?" David would say, against the Negeb of Judah, or against the Negeb of the Jerahmeelites, or against the Negeb of the Kenites. And David would leave neither man nor woman alive to bring news to Gath, thinking lest they should tell about us and say, so David has done. Such was his custom all the while he lived in the country of the Philistines. And Achish trusted David, thinking, he has made himself an utter stench to his people Israel. Therefore he shall always be my servant.
So he lived there in Philistine territory, was given the city of Ziklag, and basically went out and fought. That's what David did. He was a warrior.
He fought for
For
the
the
Philistines.
on behalf of them. Yep.
Sometimes it looks like sometimes against Judah and sometimes against other groups like the Amalekites.
Yep. So if we step back again, chapter 27 now is about David escaping from Saul into the land of the Philistines. And Achish gives him Ziklag, and he goes out and fights on behalf of the Philistines.
I said he made raids.
Made raids. I like that. Okay. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.